Well, I now have the pleasure of inviting our next speaker, and here again, I hope I'll do justice with my introduction to this personality, another very distinguished personality. Ladies and gentlemen, he obtained his BSc Engineering, a first-class honors in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Moratuwa while being an officer cadet at the General Sir John Kothalavala Defense Academy, an MSc Mechanical Engineering from the University of California, United States of America. His thesis topic was energy savings with evaporative and absorption cycle inlet cooling systems for a gas turbine cogeneration plant. A PhD in Mechanical Engineering from the University of California, United States of America. His thesis topic was local heat transfer measurements in spirally fluted tubes. And his military career, ladies and gentlemen, has been from 1981 to the 1st of January 85. He underwent cadet training at the first and only Tri-Forces Military Academy in Sri Lanka, the General Sir John Kothalavala Defense Academy, simultaneously reading for the BSc Engineering undergraduate degree program at the University of Moratuwa, like I said at the beginning. He was a sub-lieutenant from 85 to 86, and he successfully completed his engineering watchkeeping training at the Sri Lanka Navy and was awarded the Engineering Watchkeeping Certificate. He was a lieutenant commander from 91 to 95. He's a recipient of many prestigious medals and awards, the Presidential Award for Outstanding Research, the Sri Lanka Armed Services Long Service Medal, the Gallantry Medal for the Badamarachi Operation, the President's Scout of Sri Lanka, and of course, he has membership in many prestigious institutions, the corporate member of the Institution of Engineering Sri Lanka, corporate member of the Sri Lanka Energy Managers Association, fellow of the Institution of Automobile Engineers Sri Lanka, council member of the Institute of Automobile Engineers Sri Lanka, also a fellow of the Institute of Automobile Engineers Sri Lanka, an executive member of the Alumni Association of the General Sir John Kothalavala Defense Academy. Well, although I've read all about this personality, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I was very impressed recently. I've been comparing so many events in my 38-year career as a compeer. He was recently given the opportunity to actually speak as the chairman of the panel of judges, and I was very impressed with his address, and I think in just one line, I consider him a very eloquent speaker. So without further ado, I have the pleasure of inviting our chief guest this evening, Engineer Professor Kapila Pereira, Vice Chancellor of the University of Moratuwa, to address you all. Everybody, a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Ayubowan, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum, and very good evening. The President, Institute of Engineers, Sri Lanka, President-elect, past President, the keynote speaker today, Professor Clarence De Silva from University of British Columbia, the Executive Honorary Secretary and members of the head table, past presidents, the would-be inductees today, the graduates, the parents, distinguished invitees. It gives me immense pleasure to acknowledge the honor for Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, to be the chief guest at your induction and graduation ceremony in 2018. In Sri Lanka, I was just proud to witness the presentation made by the keynote speaker, especially the presentation of the facilities that were available at the University of British Columbia. For that matter, I mentioned that fact at universities of not only at Moratuwa, all 5 faculties in Sri Lanka from Peradeniya to Moratuwa to Ruhuna to Southeastern to Jaffna and Sri Jayawardhanapura. Thanks to the efforts of Institution of Engineers, past presidents, councils, for lobbying to upgrade the laboratories to be in par with world standards. If 65,000 students at University of British Columbia, being the largest in the western part of Canada, the mechatronics laboratory facilities, sir, the efforts of the external reviewers of Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, all of you, the members of councils, have lobbied to upgrade the facilities for our brilliant, bright students who are aspiring to become engineers through our state-funded education system. I was privileged and honored to manage 500 million rupees grant to upgrade our laboratories. I am sure I was the dean then. It's not just my effort. I was just a facilitator and a manager. Just happened to be the dean at that time. Within 1 year, we were able to upgrade all the facilities. I am sure Peradeniya, Southeastern, Jaffna would have benefited the same way. For that, on behalf of University of Moratuwa, maybe I would take the liberty as a then member of the standing committee at the University Grants Commission to pay gratitude for the institutional members and the councils who have made it possible for Sri Lankan students. Because we can now boast the same standards, be it mechatronics, be it different type of robots, our students and the staff are capable of producing and replicating same high quality, high standard robots or other equipments through those using the same equipment. Just to highlight or justify that fact, in 2017 April, at University of Moratuwa, we showcase to the nation who have funded our education, our engineering education, Madam and Presidents, 600 undergraduate projects through those, using those equipment that were given at the expense of the state funding. So that's how we pay back. We just don't talk. We let our students project talk for the society. That is what we can do. I, as the present Vice Chancellor, all the former Vice Chancellors, university administrators, and the lecturers who have benefited from the free education and gone all over the world, you name it, best universities in the world, our faculty had shown their colors in return and paying back, nurturing these young inquiring minds, and the society can be happy of that. That is just one example. Likewise, we are truly grateful to the Institution of Engineers to making all the efforts to secure Washington Accord status for Sri Lankan undergraduates who are studying at engineering faculties. That makes sure mobility for our engineering graduates in the world, similar institutions who are members of the Washington Accord. And also the PE, professional engineer status, is also enabled through the acquisition of the Washington Accord status. Then the Institution of Engineers, we are thankful for the efforts of these pioneers who are seated here, with gray hair or white hair or whatever you want to call it, who have invested a lot of their time and effort in voluntarily to secure a Engineering Council Act, which was very difficult. Now it's up to us, the would-be inductees and the graduates today, to reap the benefits and put the engineering profession for the benefit of Sri Lankans. So these were some of the things that I did not plan to say, but the keynote speaker's words of wisdom, paying back. No, the lines are so fuzzy between the traditional engineering boundaries, how difficult it was to hire electrical engineering, and he had to wait for a Sri Lankan graduate from University of Moratuwa to hire as an electrical engineer to British Columbia Mechanical Engineering Department and take it as a lead in country like Canada, second largest, he was told, next to Russia. So we are very proud that we can produce world-class yet nationally relevant students and the graduates for the benefit of Sri Lankan society. With these few words, I would like to extend my felicitations wholeheartedly to all practicing engineers who are inducted into different professional classes or categories today. While the induction into each category in the ladder of professional engineer has a personal significance to the recipient, it means much more, a lot more in the speaking language to the society. The society awaiting to reap benefit from inductees. Today, you will walk away, and we at the audience, maybe through the media, will witness the handing over or taking over of the certificate. That is only for this moment. But what the society expects, and society will be the judge. The same society will judge the true meaning or the value or the quality, the standard of each class the Sri Lanka Institute of Engineers is handing over to you today. It is a fact, as I said, the audience will witness, the society will witness that you are walking away with this degree certificate or induction certificate into hands in this glamorous and most important evening of your lives today. But don't forget, you are walking away simultaneously with lots of responsibility on your shoulders. Until and unless you are vested with responsibility, you have room for error. Lots of room for error. Until you are an undergraduate, until you graduate, you have lots of room for error to play with. Once you are vested with responsibility, you have no room for error. Entire society will judge the value of this certificate or induction into the category through the demonstration of your professional core competencies. That is what you are walking away with this evening. The responsibility is towards a society to which the inductees are supposed to serve. The core engineering professional standards, the safety norms and the standards, quality standards, each professional class or category of practicing engineer is supposed to uphold are well established. IESL has ensured they are updated to be in par with the current state-of-the-art, globally proven, accepted norms and standards. Like I said before, through Washington Accord, Engineering Council, those are the norms Those are the mechanisms through which the IESL ensures this. That is very important. Such standards can be tangibly measured and perceived. It can be measured on a paper through a review. But what is more important, however, standards of professional ethics need to be maintained by each inductee under demanding circumstances during their engagement with the society. The lines between the engineering professions are fuzzy, as you said. I borrow from your speech. Even this morning, I was sharing a professorial interview. The candidate is in your audience today. It was very difficult, time-consuming. His PhD is from Department of Mechanical Engineering in bold, big letters. The circular says, if you want to award him the professor in electrical engineering, there is a conflict by a circular. But I had to fight long, hard hours to ensure that fuzziness is now embedded. There are no lines between electrical or mechanical. Because through his work, robotics, mechatronics. So that's how the knowledge, the education, respect the education, it is given to me. I exercise that to make a right judgment, to execute or do away with the circular and award him the Professor of Electrical Engineering. So that's how you demonstrate your education, put things into good practice so that the society will judge your qualifications, your designation, where you are performing to the best interest of the society. So it's important. The measurable quantities are through the standards and the qualities, but your ideas, how you engage with the society under demanding, trying circumstances, in a matter of time, making correct judgment is very important. That is your wisdom. True demonstration of discharging the duties and responsibilities while maintaining high standard expected of the profession of engineering is expected from each one of you inductees. This is a must to ensure the objectives of the process lead into today's induction ceremony organized by the IESL are met. I cannot do, we cannot do, it's you who need to prove this is worth of the brass or the gold or the silver. Dear graduates, welcome on board the engineering profession and many congratulations. You will be the flag bearers of the future of engineering profession in Sri Lanka. You are also expected to demonstrate the high standards in discharging your duties and responsibilities in all spheres of activity you would be engaged from today onwards. All the efforts of IESL for contributing to uphold the standards in the profession of engineering in Sri Lanka for the betterment of the society and environment are greatly appreciated. Once again, on behalf of the University of Moratuwa, in the capacity of the Vice Chancellor, I would like to thank the IESL for choosing me as the chief guest for the induction and the graduation ceremony of 2018. I wish all the very best in the inductees and the would-be inductees and the graduates today. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your thought-provoking address, your sincere wishes, and your words of encouragement. I'm sure we can put our hands together one more time for our chief guest this evening. Well, we now move on to yet another special moment. This is the affirmation of the Code of Ethics that will be read out by the President, Engineer Professor Mrs. Niranjani Ratnayaka. And this, in fact, will be repeated by the chartered awardees who are to be inducted today. The chartered engineers, the new chartered engineers, are requested to stand up and repeat the Code of Ethics affirmation after the President.
Those engineers who are to be inducted, please raise your right hand and in affirmation and repeat after me. I shall hold paramount, loud and clear, the health, safety and welfare of the public and proper utilization of funds and other resources in the performance of my professional duties. It shall take precedence over my responsibility to the profession, sectoral or private interests, employers, or to other engineers. I shall always act in such a manner as to uphold and enhance the honor, integrity, and dignity of the profession